Cowboy Logic, Episode 8, The Night Before Christmas. Cowboy Logic. I'm Ann Dunbar, and today I want to take you back to a Christmas Eve lit by a bedside lamp, a worn book, and a voice that made the world feel safe. A time when one story and one voice could turn a small house into a world of wonder. This is the story of my childhood Christmas Eve tradition. We didn't have much. We weren't poor in the ways that break you. We had a roof over our head and food in our stomach. But we sure didn't have extra, and Christmas wasn't about piles of gifts or fancy decorations. We had something better. Every Christmas Eve, my daddy would tuck me and my brother into bed, and after we were settled, he'd open the worn, familiar book. Its pages were soft from years of being turned, and then he would start to read. 'Twas the night before Christmas. His voice was steady and warm and full of rhythm, and it didn't matter how many times we'd heard it. Every year it felt like stepping into magic all over again. Sometimes we'd wake up the next morning and find a single present waiting for us under the tree. Maybe a small doll, truck, an orange, or some candy we hardly ever got. Just one thing. But it was like Santa himself had stopped by. It wasn't the gift that mattered, but the way my daddy made Christmas feel real when money was tight. He gave us something no store could sell. A feeling that we mattered. A feeling of being loved and a feeling of wonder. And that was enough. As we got older, the tradition changed. There comes a time when you stop believing in Santa, but that doesn't mean you stop needing magic. And my daddy, he knew that. Even after we knew the truth, he kept reading the story. Not because we believed in a man who came down chimneys, but because we believed in Dad. We believed in the way he brought Christmas to life with nothing but his voice. And we believed in the way he made a small bedroom feel like a world full of possibilities. And maybe deep down, we believed that if he kept reading, we could hold on to that feeling, that soft place in childhood where everything felt safe for just a little longer. Looking back, I think he read it for himself, too. A father who worked hard, carried worried, and loved his kids so fiercely that he wanted them to have one night of pure magic every year. That story wasn't just a poem. It was a bridge between who we were and who we were becoming. As a writer, I understand something I didn't grasp back then. It wasn't the story itself that mattered. It was the act of telling it. We read to feel closer to someone. We write for the same reason. My stories, starting over in Montana, Anya's Salvation, and Bet's Christmas Gamble, all carry pieces of that childhood magic. If you've read them, you've already met pieces of my daddy on those pages. Not the fairy tale kind of magic, but the real kind. The magic of people doing the best they can with what they have. Magic of love shown in tiny small gestures. And the magic of choosing hope, even when life is far from perfect. Every time I write a scene where a cowboy holds someone gently, or a mother comforts her child, or a character finds light in the dark, I'm really writing echoes of my daddy sitting at the edge of my bed, reading to me and my brother. Stories make us feel loved and less alone. Stories make us believe, just like my daddy made us believe. I remember lying in the dark, listening to his voice rise and fall with those familiar lines. There were no piles of presents waiting, and there were no fancy decorations. Just one father reading to his children because he loved them. And that was enough to make Christmas feel like magic. Sometimes we think we need big gestures to make a moment matter. But the truth is, it's the small acts of love that stay with us the longest. The ones done quietly, the ones done every year, the ones done from the heart. So today's Cowboy Logic is this. You don't need much to make a moment magical. Just love spoken out loud. Thank you for sharing this time with me on Cowboy Logic. My stories and the way I tell them all carry a piece of those Christmas Eve nights, wrapped in warmth, memory, and hope. I'll be back next week with another story, another piece of wisdom, and another moment worth holding on to. Until then, may your memories be warm, and may your stories bring someone a little bit of magic.